me? 1 2 1 2. I think that should work. Let's make sure that everything is working. Properties, Scarlet. Yep, we're good. Maybe a little louder right there. Give me 1 sec. Where is it? Right here. All right, I think we're good. Let me make sure to get to my timestamps as well. And please make sure that you can hear me. Just say something in the chat that you can hear me. And hello to everyone. Really excited to have the live stream today. I'm going to punch in a little bit. We're going to do a few things and then we'll get started with our things right here. We'll talk about a few things here and there. There's a few news that I think will be exciting. All right, let's see. It's a little too bright, probably. Should be better. Yeah. All right, cool. Awesome. So if you have any questions, make sure to put them out there. I'm going to be fixing this thing up right here for the camera. We should be good in like a second. All right, there it is. Let's see. All right. Maybe I'm too punched in. There it is. That's better. And then let's find the menu. It's for peak focus. There it is. Awesome. Cool. All right. Let's see where we at. Window capture. I don't see my box here. I wonder what's going on. Okay. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, this is working. The other one is not. What is it called? Lumix Tether. I think that's what it's called. Sorry about the tech check. For some reason, it's not showing up. I wonder what do I do now that I'm live. I guess I could restart the thing, but I don't want to do that. Give me a second. Need to find the easiest way to share. Maybe if I add a source. All right. Sunbeam news. I see some of them already. Yeah, so there's some news, but nothing crazy happening so far. The reality is that a little bit slower development. There it is. That's better. Okay, let's go here. Oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to find the correct one. Lumix, Light View. There it is. Can I do this here? I already have it set up, but for some reason this one's not working today. So let me just do it here. I'm gonna have to. There it is. Come on. There you go. Now we're talking. Cool. All right. There you go. Yes, there are some news for a few extra things here and there. So we'll be talking about those in a second. That's not what I wanted to do. Give me a second. I'm going to have to add another source. Browser? Is there a thing? Browser source. There it is. Oh, but that doesn't do what I wanted to do. I think it's this one. Okay. No, that captures the whole display. I don't want that. Sorry, guys. Capture a window. Add a new source. There it is. Now we can go to the Sun browser. Now we're good to go. Perfect. And then we can pull it a little bit here and here so that we can only see the window. And now we're back to what we actually need to do. Okay, awesome. All right. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So I hope everything is working great. We have a few things to take a look into. There's a lot of good news coming into the community. I think this week we have the side phone is going to be released, the design, maybe pricing as well, hopefully. I think if you guys see Returning Retro, he's one of the guys interviewing the side phone people. So hopefully we have some extra news soon. Yeah, about that. You know, it's just kind of exciting to see new devices coming into the arena. I wanted to start with the Mindful Phone updates. So this is at 6 minutes 35. And today I have about an hour and a half, roughly. So if you have any questions, make sure to put them there. So I always like to highlight companies that are doing something great for their phones. And I think in this specific arena, give me a second. How do I, there you go. That's how I do that. Yeah, so sometimes it's hard to find companies that are doing good things with their devices. And that's why I like to reward, essentially, you know, saying like, hey, this company is listening to the feedback, is trying to do something positive. I like to be as fair as possible and try to highlight those companies as much as I can, because I know it's not easy. Let me punch out a little bit so you guys can see that. So the Mindful Phone has a new update. Let me put a little bit more brightness right there. And essentially, it now has the ability to do Google Messages. So if you're looking for a syncing solution, give me a second. I need to delete something here. So if you're looking for something to sync very well with Google Messages, now this is available on this device. And I think that's an excellent addition. This is a kosher phone, so it's not necessarily made with everyone in mind, but I just like that they are adding features. So two things that they have done, and I'm going to make an update once they release maps. That's something that they're looking into releasing. But messages, that's one of them. And then the other one is sync. So they have a sync integration with Google. So I know, some of you need your work applications or whatever it is. So I think that's very important, especially for calendar or things of that kind of like that matter. I think that's extremely important. So having the ability to sync with Google Calendar or work, even though you are restricted to only sync and not, all of the other crazy things, I think it's a great bonus to the community and to people who buy this phone. So also Google Messages, you can pair it via QR code. So there it is, device pairing, and you have the ability to get the QR code. It's a little fuzzy, isn't it? Is it a little fuzzy? I see. I look at it and it feels fuzzy to me. Sorry. It feels a little fuzzy. Okay, that looks a little better. That's fine. But yeah, so I'm excited about them continuing to develop applications that are tools and based on the preferences of their users and listening to the feedback. They also have a little bit of like an app store. I think that's what they call it. It's kind of like, let me see. updater. That's what it's called. So it's called the updater, and you have there tools that you can install. And as you see right there, they have Google Messages and a beta, and they're doing like all of these different apps. So I always welcome specifically companies that are listening to the feedback, working with what they're doing, and making their phones experiences better each and every day. So just an update on that. The phone is now also a little cheaper. So that is also, I believe, something that is welcome. Sorry for all the movement on the screen today. So not a great day, I guess. But here, let me show you. So the phone right here. Yeah, there you go. You have the Mindful Talk and Text, and it comes in different colors, and it's now $199. About a year ago, I think it was $279. And you kind of can see some of the features that they have, but that they continue to give support about a year later is something that I'm like, okay, this is good. It's a company. This is not the best hardware in the world. It's not going to be, you know, the best phone for everybody. But if you're looking for something that is simple, but it still has Google Messages, and you're okay with some of these utilities, like only this one's right here, I think it makes a lot of sense to at least consider it, right? Like there are other options in the market, but it's just something that is cool to consider and is important to say like, okay, this company is supporting the devices and making sure that their customers are listened to. So thumbs up for them. I hope to see a little bit more information in the future, and hopefully they'll be able to release maps eventually. I think that that's going to make everything more usable on the phone, even though it's, you know, pretty usable as it is. It's going to just take it to the next level, which is something that is extremely important. So yeah, there you go. Okay, let's move on to one of my favorite phones right now. Sadly, that cannot be used in the United States. In favorite in the sense that I think it can help a lot of people that are looking into transition devices. That is the MIVE Style Folder 2. So this is a flip phone from Korea, and it is quite nice. It's very, very useful because it has a lot of applications. But I think that it can help a lot of people, and it can create that friction. I do recommend that you look into the MIVE Style Folder 1 first, because the MIVE Style Folder 2 is quite large. So it is way larger, and I personally don't think, I personally don't like that. But, you know, you kind of can look into it and see if it's something for you. But as you see right here, SIM card is not recognized. Please reboot. Yeah, that's fine. So it's a touchscreen flip phone. Man, why is this so... Okay, give me a second. Yes, there you go. That's better. So right here, you have a flip phone, and it is quite a large screen, but you have the ability to navigate it without having to touch the screen. You can disable it if you don't need anything. And the screen is quite crisp. It's actually very nice to use. I just wish that it came in a smaller package and that you could, by default, have less of the distraction tools already pre-installed. So I really hope that that kind of like gets better. But if you're international, I highly recommend this device. It's actually going to make it to a list. And I did want to talk about my list so far for 2025. I think this is making it to the list just because I think it as a category, like, you know, as a transition device. Then, of course, you have like the minimal phone, you have the Mudita Kompakt, you have the light phone, which are great recommendations as well. And it's kind of just like, what is it that you're looking for? What is it that are your priorities? I think that's something that you really need to start thinking about and processing. If e-ink is like more of a priority, then definitely Mudita or the minimal phone. If simplicity of UI, you know, and cost is not an issue, then the Light Phone 3. And also, as a reminder, I don't know where I have one, but there are these NFC blockers. So I'll give you an example. So let's say you have a lot of distracting apps on your phone, on an iPhone, and this app I've been testing is called Focus. And essentially what it does is once you are able to tap an NFC card, it can be any NFC card, it automatically blocks the applications. So as you see right there, this is restricted. And in order to access the applications, you will have to stop it and tap again the NFC card. This one is free, so I've been testing it for the last few days, and I think it's going to help a lot of people. So, you know, keep that into consideration as something that may help you. Let me get one more thing here. Give me 1 second. And yeah, again, I think it's extremely important to take a look into your inventory. You know, what is it that you want in your life? And Dumbphone Livestream April 2025. And what are the utilities that are not necessary? You know, if it depends really heavily on different people. Different people have different needs. And I think that is okay to recognize that not everybody can do what you can do. And, you know, somebody else's solution may be better. And there is no such thing as a perfect device for everyone. So do the best that you can and, you know, try to find something that is kind of like in the middle ground. Okay. So let's go back here. So here we have the, this device can install pretty much any application. So it is up to you to make it as simple or as distracting as you want it to be. Here, I'll show you one of the things that I like to do, especially with keypad devices in the beginning. I think there are two things. The first one is T9. As you see right there, I already searched it here. This is one of my favorite applications because it allows you to text and type very easily. I think I'm overblown. That's why it's a little fuzzy. Oh, give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. Go back. There you go. That's better. Yeah. I can go here. There you go. Okay, cool. Perfect. So, yes, so let me download this. So this is one of the first things that I like to do because it makes the keyboard experience just better. And they have tons of contributors. A lot of the people working on this are people who are interested, you know, in like, hey, I want to get a Dumbphone. I want to make it usable, and I want to make it easier for me to manage. So I really think these are great configurations. And, you know, once you open it, you have access to the APK and TT9. Let's install or allow the installation. Okay. Something's going on. Yes, I agree. I don't know why it's not allowing me to install this. Huh. That's odd. Okay. Well, you will click those two things, and then maybe it is because it's too large, the full APK. Maybe that's the reason. Or it's just disallowing it. That's very interesting. I'm unsure as to why it's not allowing the APK installation. So I'll have to do it in a different way. Probably download the file and then install it that way. But you also have access to the Play Store, and you can log in and have that ability as well to, you know, use the Play Store and download whatever app it is that you need. Again, for international. This is mainly for international people. Okay, MIVE Style Folder 2. Two great devices that I'd like you to take a look into, and I think are worth it. The other one that I said, you know, is going to be one of my recommendations this year. I think these apps have made a lot of progress, which is if you have a smartphone and you still need a smartphone, then using these NFC tag apps. So you just use Focus, you create your, essentially your distracting apps that you want to block. Here you can block entire categories, so like travel or information, whatever it is. And you can update. And then when you hold to start, and you just tap. And I think this is a very efficient solution for a lot of people. because if you want to block social media, you can block it. And if you need to access it, you will need one of these NFC tags to be able to access it. Of course, it's definitely beatable, but it's just something that it's important to kind of like look into that. Murillo has a great question. Why Dumbphones are getting the same size as smartphones? I really don't know, and I think it has to do with components. We're going to go into the minimal phone next. There are some updates in there. I think it has to do with components. I think it has to do with most people are developing 5-inch screens. So when you get a flip phone now, it also has a large screen because most people are developing 5-inch screen devices. It's a little bit of an unfortunate reality. And I really wish more companies were willing to make sacrifices and changes, and that they were willing to truly listen to what people want, and not, kind of just be swayed by whatever it is that most people are buying today. So that's where I look at the side phone, and that one is going to be probably not as small as most people think, but it's going to be definitely smaller than all of these humongous flip phones that are coming out. And I celebrate those things, and I think you should definitely support those endeavors. So let me show you, for example. Give me a second. There it is. Okay, so let's go to the side phone before we get to the minimal phone. Let's go here. And this one is, as you see, going to be a little bit of a smaller package. I still don't expect it to be extremely small. I think this is probably going to be like a 2.5 to 3-inch screen, most likely in that category, because that's what you can find with default components. And then you have the keypad, right? So it's going to be somewhere around the size of my expectation is that it's going to be somewhere around the size of a Xiaomi F21 or Xiaomi F22, something along those lines, because they're probably going to be recycling some of those components. So go check out the side phone, sign up for their email, for the email list. I think that's just going to make things better for you and for the community, right? So how do you get the side phone things, and that's something great. Let's go over minimal phone updates. Let's see right here. It's frozen. Perfect. So the minimal phone is an e-paper screen device, and they have gotten a few updates out there, which is very welcome. And I think I have a new one too. Let's see. No, I don't. Okay. So they have fixed a lot of the keyboard. Let's go to the messages so that I can show you that. So now whenever you press the Alt key, it can remain enabled, and also the caps lock key. So, that is it's definitely an advantage. Here, let me just kind of put a number, and then I will show you the typing engine. Oh, it's not going to let me. Okay. I need a SIM card in there, and I took it out. Let's just go to notes. I think that will be easier. Oh, why is it asking me to sign in? I think I sideloaded a notes app that didn't need anything. All right. Give me a second. I had to reboot it the other day because I had to install. I guess I can just go to Chrome. Show you the typing there. All right. There you go. So, hello. My name is Jose. And what happened? Okay, something happened. Did I mess something up? I think I might have, because this is not working as I just tested a few moments ago. I was testing yesterday. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's not working like it's supposed to be working. Here, let me do something real quick, guys. Because they did send an update. I was testing it yesterday, but maybe when I wiped it, because I had to wipe it to update some things, it wiped that update as well. Very possible. Where is it? Software update. Here it is. Minimal keyboard. There it is. So yeah, it was like a few days ago. Okay. Give me 1 second. I need to put this in the phone. This should work. Sorry, guys. Yeah, like I think maybe the update got wiped, so that's probably why I'm not seeing the device. But they have been updating the device. This was the reason why I wanted to showcase it. And I think I'm on the slowest mode. No, I'm on the newest fast mode. So I'll showcase that too. Give me 1 second. File transfer. Where are you? Okay. All right. It's not transferring. Let's try something else. Give me a second. File transfer. There you go. That should work. Send files. Downloads. Minimal keyboard update. I'll go to Chrome here and download it. File transfer. .io. Done. Okay, what happened? Where's the link? Share. There it is. Sorry. Oh, okay. I need livewire.com slash. Where's the slash? Let me do it with the on-screen keyboard. That way it will be easier or faster. Show on-screen keyboard. There it is. Dash D E 8 KR pound. Man, why are these URLs so long just to transfer a small file? Okay, that should be good. Should be able to download it. Oh, no. I messed up. Let me just double check. Okay. Uh, yeah. Sorry guys, this is not working as expected. VBX. Yeah. Huh. No. Okay. .com. Okay, for some reason it's not working. Let me see. Oh, wow. This is interesting. I just shared via Chrome. I never done that before. Wow, that was crazy. That was really crazy. I've never done that in my, like in the past. I like never had that. Okay, so I'm installing the minimal keyboard now. Perfect. Open. Yes. So as you see, minimal keyboard is a little different now. It has more kind of like workarounds, more things to kind of take a look into. So now let's go here, and now it should work, right? Yeah, there it is. Oh, why is it not working? Every time, I swear, every time I try to test this phone, something is going on. Oh, there it is. Okay. No, H. No, G. Okay, so now it's not working. Ha! Okay, let me go to the settings, see what's going on in here. Minimal keyboard, there it is. Minimal keyboard. Auto capitalize, mic period, auto completion, learn new words, enable long press, enable accented characters. Okay, that's important. Yes. Modifier lock threshold. The maximum time of double press needed to lock the modifier. Oh, I see. Okay, there it is. So I just need to keep it pressed. Okay, let's see it. So it is working. It's just that. Or maybe, I think I know what's going on. I think both keyboards are in use. Quick settings. No, not that one. Just regular settings. Let's go to keyboard now. Keyboard. System. Keyboard. On-screen keyboard. Physical keyboard. Aha, there it is. English. I think that's it, right? Let's try again. Nope, it's not working. I'm going to have to troubleshoot later, but you know, it is what it is. Kind of sad that it's not working as intended, and I wonder why. You know, so minimal keyboard, physical keyboard. Like I mean, everything seems to be caps lock. Yeah, I mean, this is all seems to be working, but for some reason, let me see if I did not follow any instructions. It says enable Gboard. Okay, open settings, tap keyboard, select on-screen keyboard. Okay, there are some instructions. Let's go to settings. Settings, keyboard, on-screen keyboard. Aha. There are two minimal keyboards. Enable Gboard. Disable old minimal keyboard. Okay. At this point, they all both new minimal keyboard are active. Okay. Find Gboard. Okay, apps, view apps, find Gboard and tap disable. Okay, let's try that. So apparently it's messing something up, of course, like, you know, apps. This is quite a process though, too. Okay. Disable. Okay. Now only the keyboard is active. Okay, let's go try it. Aha. Okay, finally. Sorry, guys. That took a little while. Yeah, okay. So now, as you see, the engine has changed. And now if you double tap, then you can lock it. And you can also see, okay, it's Alt locked in. I don't know if you're seeing it right here. So that tells you whether Alt is locked in or whether it's not. I'm typing different symbols. So the symbols are available now. And you are able to kind of go through, hey, what is it that you want? Which caps lock? This one's caps lock. Let me punch in a little bit. I don't think you guys can see everything. Come on. There it is. I can also come here a little closer. So as you see right there, now it's locked. So you can type in all caps, or you can disable it. And now you have, regular access to words and whatnot. And as you see, it's pretty fast. And you also have the Alt key, which you can lock by double tapping and kind of like leaving it in there. So it just kind of depends on what you're looking for and how you're planning to use the device. But it's extremely doable, and you have the ability to type on it and, everything else that you want and need. All right, so the keyboard is fixed on the minimal phone. It does take a few steps, as you saw right there. It took me, I don't know, the past 10 minutes to kind of like fix it and get it working. But yeah, so this is a phone that is kind of like a transition device. It's half and half, and it's kind of something that is important, kind of like what is important to you. What is it that you want to do with your device? You can also, adjust a few things, like when it comes to the size and notifications, the layout. You can also install different launchers on the device. So if that's something that you want to do, that's not a problem as well. But I'm glad to see that they're updating, they're delivering devices. And of course, like this device is about $399, so it's a decent price for what you get, especially if you're looking for something more on the e-paper side, but something that scrolls and that is able to get through different applications just easily. So for example, let's just go to Chrome. And I mean, as you see right there, like the responsiveness is going to be way faster than on, any other or most e-paper devices. The only problem is the clarity. So that's one thing that you're going to have to kind of deal with. And yeah, that's one of the things. Whereas let's go to the Mudita Kompakt. Here is something completely different. You have really nice design, and you can also sideload apps, and you have the ability to, to kind of like everything looks much clearer, and it's much nicer to use, than the minimal phone, because the e-ink screen is just better optimized for e-ink. A minimal phone is still a smartphone, so that it's going to have that smartphone feel, whereas the Mudita is made with the explicit intent of working on e-ink. So you have a few extra, like the clarity is better, and it just kind of like works better. Okay, yeah, that's a little bit. Let's keep it here for now. Let's do some questions. I see you guys have put some in there. So let's go over a few of the questions that you guys have, and then we'll come back to the Mudita Kompakt and kind of go over there. All right. So it says, any Sunbeam news? I have Aspen Pro, hoping for video support someday, maybe as a premium option. I really doubt that they're going to do support for video. I don't think it's within their kind of like framework of thinking. They have done a few updates. I think there was an update a few weeks ago. Yeah, in March. There it is. So there was an update that updated a few extra things. I think it was the Horizon that got, maybe. I received an update the other day, and I think it was the Horizon or the Pro. Sunbeam phones are great. I really like them because not only they have decent support, they have a lot of support, but also you can buy them kind of like in different configurations, right? So you have the Pro, you have the Horizon, and if you want voice messaging, if you want, you know, email or text only email, for example, here are the two options that you can get. And they also come with like extra utilities like Waze or you know, kind of like navigation, music players, etc., etc. So I don't think they're going to go with video support, but I definitely know that they are continuing to make new technologies. They're working on a connection between like a flip phone and a smart device, so you're able to have two phones and kind of like seamlessly talk in between them. All right, next question is, how's the Minimal been treating you since the review? So admittedly, I review these things. I buy them for the purpose of review and, you know, give you as much information. But so far, what I've seen is they continue to update their device, and I'm glad about that. But it's never going to be my daily driver for a few reasons. I just don't think I personally enjoy the size. So that's kind of one of my qualms with the Minimal phone, is that it's quite large. So as you see right here, even with the Mudita, even with the Mudita, you have a pretty big size disparity. And my current work phone, it's the Jelly Star. So you kind of have to beat this size for me to be able to put, and I mean, this has Android, right? So it has all of the capabilities, it has all of the apps and that kind of stuff. And for me, I don't necessarily need an e-ink screen, but the size of the device is just something that I'm like, yeah, for my work phone, I need a few apps, but I prefer the Jelly Star because it's so much smaller. Even if it's LCD screen, I just don't like carrying, or, you know, it's quite a very hefty device that doesn't work for my purposes. And for personal as well, I use the Light Phone 3, and this is just larger. I mean, as you see right there, it's about 2 inches larger. So every square here is about an inch. And I just don't plan to use a device that is this large. So yeah. But I keep up with the information and I try to understand what the updates are. So I personally think that that is kind of like the best of both worlds. And if you can only have one device, then I understand why people like it. You know, the e-ink screen, the QWERTY keyboard, if that's something that you appreciate, I highly recommend that you go for it, because they are gaining traction with their updates. They are gaining trust with the community. Of course, not every single backer has gotten their device due to the craziness in the world right now with the deliveries and all of that. So it's quite difficult. But yeah, I recommend that you seriously consider it, because they are continuing to build a better track record for the device, and they are making updates like the minimal keyboard update and a few extra things here and there that are going to continue making it just a better option for people. So yeah. All right. Next question. Ryan says F21 Pro or F22 Pro. I highly recommend you get the F21 Pro, and that is my opinion, because so the F21 Pro is better. Oh, it made it. Oh no, Alpo. I was like, did it make it to GSM Arena? It'll be crazy. So the reason why is because it's smaller. So the F21 Pro, I still have it somewhere in a drawer. It's not a device that I use on the daily. I mean, like I said, I only use two devices, which is the Jelly Star for work when I go into the office, and the Light Phone 3 for my personal device, which I use every day. So, but if you're looking for something that is kind of bridging the middle, I have used the F21 Pro as my work phone in the past, and I highly recommend it. And for about $90, I think it's a great phone, especially if you're international. If you're in the United States, remember that this only works with T-Mobile and only in limited areas. So that is something to kind of keep in mind. But yeah, the chin F21 Pro is better. The F22 Pro is just way larger, and I personally don't like that. It's just like a larger device, and I just don't think that it helps with whatever it is that you're looking for. As a device that supports your digital minimalism outlook, I think it's just worse personally, but you know, it's kind of up to you whether you want to make it work with that. Yeah. Okay. Let me make sure that I update that timestamp. We started at like around 40. What is it called? Q&A 1. And I'll update these after we we do this. Like I'll put it through a lot of that kind of stuff. All right. Let's see. Andrew says, I want a small phone with Android Auto that works with AT&T. I think that's the problem. The problem is you said AT&T. So if we go to the Dumbphone Finder, like I'll show you, the issue is AT&T. I think you need to kind of let go of AT&T, and it's not because I want you to let go of AT&T. It's just the reality that they are not very friendly for, they're not very friendly for dumb phones or devices that are kind of like smaller. So let's go to Android Auto. As you see right there, clicks yes. These are the devices that have it. So TIC Mini M5, it will have the ability to use AT&T, but you run the risk that they can shut you down. Then the other ones are the Jelly 2E, Jelly Star. But they are going to get blocked by AT&T as well. So I just highly recommend that you look into any of these devices. Minimal phone. Technically, the minimal phone can work, but it's not small enough, right? So probably you won't want that. The screen is not small. So Jelly Star, Xiaomi F21, TIC Mini M5. I think those are my 3 recommendations. As you see right here, I don't recommend this. Or even the Palm phone, I guess. The Palm phone does work with Android Auto, but the battery is so bad that I just don't think that you're going to have a good time. Finding one that is unlocked and making sure that AT&T doesn't block you is another thing. So I just think that you need to consider switching carriers, because AT&T is not going to be your friend. And in order to get a better carrier for that, I highly recommend you take a look into US Mobile. So US Mobile is my personal carrier, and they are very flexible. I recommend you look into so they have 3 networks. They essentially resell the, kind of like they resell service from Verizon, which is Warp. Then you have Dark Star, which is AT&T, and then Lightspeed. I highly recommend you get a Lightspeed SIM card from them, from US Mobile. You will save money, number one, and you will be able to have whatever compatibility you want. So their monthly plan starts at $25 a month for unlimited, if you need unlimited. I don't need unlimited, so I don't use unlimited. I actually use this thing called and they actually say for the digital minimalist in their marketing materials. I use this plan. It costs me $8 per month. I pay annually, so I pay $96 a year. Or you can pay monthly and you pay $10 a month, and that is all inclusive with tax. I do have a link if you want to use that. Let me get it for you guys right now. So essentially, I have a link for US Mobile, and if you want to use it, you can, and if not, you can just go to the website, and that's okay with me as well. Just FYI, if you're already thinking about it, right, and like you want to use it, I would appreciate if you use the link right there. I'm going to drag this into my other tab. Yeah, but I highly recommend US Mobile. And It's because of their pricing, their customer support, my experience with them personally. But I'm going to give you other options. That is not the only option. Another option is Tello. So Tello is another wireless service that you should take a look into. You can look at their plans. They use the T-Mobile network as well, and they're very inexpensive. You can go all the way down to like free texts and about 100 minutes of calls and 1 gig of data for $6 a month, which I think is an amazing deal. Like, I think it's excellent. And if you need call, unlimited talk, text, and 1 gig or maybe 2 gigs, that's $10 a month, which I also think is extremely affordable and a great plan. They also have an unlimited data for $25 a month. So if you're looking into getting into that, I highly recommend that as an option. So yeah, those are great. I see a US Mobile related question. So do they allow roaming? Yes, they do, but only on the unlimited plans. So here, and our annual plans are the ones that usually have that. So it says this one right here, the unlimited starter, has for 12 months. When you pay for 12 months, they include the international data in 90 plus countries, international calling and texting. And also when you go into those countries, you also have roaming. The Lightspeed network, if I recall correctly, is the one that has the most. So here, international data, here it is. Free with annual unlimited starter, free with unlimited premium, and you can check the destinations. And when you see the details, they tell you like, okay, this is what they actually give you. So Dark Star, which is AT&T, they give you 61 countries. But Lightspeed, which is my preferred one, in my opinion, they give you 200 minutes, 250 texts, and 1 gig of data with Lightspeed. And as you can see a few of the extra kind of like stuff. When you go to Canada, for example, with Lightspeed, you see that they give you 10 gigs, 200 minutes, 250 texts with unlimited premium. Annual unlimited starter, they give you 1 gig, 200 minutes, and 250 texts, which when you are traveling, that's probably enough. You know, you're not going to need anything more than that, but you can see all the countries, and you can also toggle with like, okay, what does Dark Star give me? What does Warp allow me to do? You know, all of these kind of like different things. And there, some things are included, some things are not included. So it just kind of depends on what you are looking into and how much data you probably need when you are visiting these countries. I don't necessarily recommend that you do that because, well, if you're going to be there for like a weekend, fine, no problem. But if you're going to be there, if you're going to be in another country for an extended period of time, what is it called? IRLO is it called? Yeah, there it is. I have used this service before called IRLO, and they have eSIM cards. So if your device has eSIM, which some Dumbphones now do, that's a very good advancement. I'm actually adding that category to the Dumbphone Finder very soon. But if it doesn't, they can also get you a physical SIM easily available in your region. So if you're traveling to Europe, for example, like last year, I went to Italy. No, 2 years ago now. Yeah, 2 years ago, I went to Italy, and they had this, what's it called? Italian Telecom. There was this company that had very, very inexpensive, Iliad. That's what it was. Yes, Iliad data plan. And I had a very good time with them. It cost me like, so it cost me something like this, like 10 euros or something along those lines. And it had like 40 gigs of data. I think this is their monthly plan when you kind of like keep it for a long time. But there are some very inexpensive Iliad plans that you can just get while you're there. And they include roaming in other areas of Europe. So that's, kind of like something to think about. But yeah, check it out. Check out some of these countries, specifically if you go, I don't know, like let's say you're going to Japan. This is what it gets you. Lightspeed gets you 10 gigs, 200 minutes, 250. Unlimited starter, 1 gig, 200, so you can check out whatever country it is If you go to my country of origin, Nicaragua, you also get a few extra things here and there. So it's just kind of depends on what is it that you're looking for and where is it that you want to get this this data. Yeah, so it's better when you pay for the full year. I personally enjoy a lot their plans because, again, $228 for 12 months, $19 a month essentially, and you get a lot of value for that. I personally don't need unlimited, so I pay even less. But even if you did it monthly, it's $25. So I mean, I think it's worth it, and I think that you should take a look into it at the very least. I think US Mobile is one of my favorite carriers for sure. So yeah, take a look into it. All right, next, the next question. Let's see, Jose, my friend. Only thing I'm wondering about minimal phone are banking apps. Do they work on it or no? Yes. So any app that works on the Play Store works on the minimal phone. So the minimal phone is okay. It's minimal. That's its name. Let's just call it what it is. The name is the minimal phone. It's not minimal in function. It's just the minimal name. I think they do have a friction, right? Like, so for example, the e-ink screen, but as you see right here, you could install Discord, you could install whatever it is. You can install any application that you want. You can make it as distracting as you want. It's just up to you. What is it that you're going to do with that? They say it's distraction free, but not really. It's not distraction free. It's just distraction free, or it adds friction because of the e-paper screen. And I think they say that, but it's a lot of marketing, of course, and they're trying to sell devices, and I don't blame them for that. I think that they have released the first generation of a cool product that is hopefully is going to continue being made. And hopefully they have enough margins to make it happen, even with all of the tariffs and everything that's happening today. But yeah, you can install any application, banking apps, anything that you want. The device will be able to have it. I mean, as you see, WhatsApp, Amazon, Spotify, Outlook, Uber, anything, literally anything you need, because it has access to the Play Store. So yeah, it's going to work everything. All right. Let's continue. What carrier in the US? Okay, yeah, okay. So have you seen a lot of limitation on carriers with the Dumbphone products? Yes. So this is something that happens here in the United States more than anywhere else. And that's why I have the Dumbphone Finder tool, because here, network provider, for example, we're going to take the Android Audio. So here, T-Mobile allows for 63 devices, so 63 results that work with T-Mobile. But if you go to Verizon, it's only 34. And if you go to AT&T, it's only 28. So they kind of reduce over time. And if you go to TracFone, it's like 1. I actually need to update that. There is one more. The TracFone Straight Talk. There's one more. The Nokia 2720. So there should be 2. But same thing happens similarly in Canada. Bell has 27. TELUS has 37. Rogers 33. And what I try to do here is I try to make sure that I have corroborated data from people that are using these devices. So that's why I try to keep this as updated as possible. I need to remove Boost Mobile and Consumer Cellular. They're kind of like, it's just kind of very hard. But your best friends in North America are T-Mobile and AT&T. This is less of a phenomenon in Europe. So let's just switch it to Europe, or go to the European version. So in Europe, it's a little bit different because network providers, as you see, Vodafone UK 62, 3 is 59, giffgaff. This is not updated. O2 is 30, EE is 28. But some of this is off because there should be more devices here. But in Europe, by and large, most devices work without any issues, and you don't have a lot of things kind of happening. So I really think it's definitely a North American phenomenon. unfortunately, but I try to keep it as updated as possible. Sometimes it's just network compatibility. Sometimes it's just like, for example, this device, the MIVE Style Folder. So I'll showcase it to you again. So the MIVE Style Folder is a great device, but this device was engineered with the Asian market in mind. And as a result, is not something that is for the North American market. So the bands are just not compatible. So you don't have compatibility. But sometimes, for example, with a device like the Jelly Star, which is an international device, you could use it anywhere in the world. Some carriers just decide and say, hey, this device did not pay us the certification money that we want, and as a result, we're going to block the phone, which is very unfortunate because it keeps everything so it keeps everything so like gate kept, right? So like I have this phone, it technically works with AT&T. It has all the bands that are possible to work with that service, but because AT&T says, well, Jelly Unihertz never paid us the certification money that we wanted, we are not going to allow it to our network, and now you're out of luck. So I try to look for networks, especially here in the United States, that allow me to essentially use the phone like I want, and that is US Mobile. So yeah. Next question says, why are those prices so high? I think you're referring to mobile plans. That's just kind of like the reality here in North America. They're very expensive. Let's continue. I'm in the US and need GPS navigation and Spotify. I was thinking of getting the F21 Pro or Cat S22. I would like a touchscreen, but if not, that is okay. What would you recommend? Okay, first, I'll recommend that you go and follow, as I do, with the Dumbphone Finder. We're going to find your perfect phone. You're in North America. You want maps, okay? Let's just assume. Let's go look for maps, GPS navigation. We're going to assume that you want Google Maps. It seems by your question that you would appreciate Google Maps, and you want Spotify. So yeah, most likely you're in that same. So we want Google Maps and Spotify. Perfect. Palm phone, Tick Mini, and we're going to filter by stars. So make sure that Jose's ratings, we're going to put 4 stars first. So you have Xiaomi F22, Cat S22, Jelly Star family, minimal phone. Those are some options with Spotify and Google Maps, GPS. And then we're going to go 5 stars, which is the Tick Mini, the Xiaomi F21, and the F22. But I'm going to reduce the F22 to 4 stars because, yeah, it's been a few years and it just also the size. I just don't like it. So these are the devices that have it. Now I'm going to assume that you're going to use it with T-Mobile. So let's go to network provider, T-Mobile. Perfect. It kind of stays the same. But highly recommend that you look into a Jelly Star, a Xiaomi F21, Cat S22 in that order. Because the Cat S22 recently got Android Auto, you have to do a decent amount of tinkering. So that's something that you should look into. Oh, I think I saw it. No, App Store Flip. Is that the one? Okay. Android Auto JTech Forums. That's what it's called. So there's this new forum that is more for like, Jewish community, but they are also doing a lot of tinkering. And I think one of them talked about the Cat S22 Android Auto. Cat S22. Work with Verizon. Yeah, it is somewhere. I saw it on the Reddit. I haven't done it myself. The changes for Android Auto, but recently somebody was able to hack it and get Android Auto on the Cat S22. But I recommend that you go with Jelly Star, F21, and then Cat S22 in that order. And if you want to consider the minimal phone, that's fine too. So, that's not a problem. All right. Yeah, so some people are asking about the side phone. Yes, guys, I talked about it last stream. I talked about it this stream. I'm keeping up tabs with them. I chatted with them a few times on Reddit. And hopefully this week when they release the design, I will cover that in the future. It looks promising. It has a lot of the features that people are looking for, like, Spotify, WhatsApp. It's an Android device that is customized. And because it's going to be small and it's going to have only a certain amount of RAM because it's small, I don't expect it to have like 8 gigs, but probably like they're going to be in like the 3 to 6 gig range. So yeah, I'm really excited about that project, and hopefully, yeah, hopefully that will be a good option. Yeah. But yeah, I'll look into it more once they're able to release more information, and once, I'll pre-order it, I'll give it a review, and I'm really excited. I actually think it's going to be the solution for a lot of people who are looking for an F21, but that works and that comes from a more trusted company. I think that's extremely important. So I'm really excited about that. Yes, I'll be looking into it more in the near future. And I did talk about it in the last stream, so make sure to check out that information as well. Ole, I think your last question. Do you think LP3 or Mudita will support wireless payments in the future? That is a good question. So here is the problem with the NFC technology right now. Tap to pay. So the NFC tap to pay right now is very reliant on Google Play services. A lot of the devices need this Google Play services in order to access the wallets. And because of that, it's becoming a little bit difficult to be able to say like, oh yeah, you will be able to use your cards with tap to pay, with these devices. So a little bit unfortunate in that sense. However, there is one other maybe company, and that is Garmin. So Garmin has Garmin Pay, which is an NFC system that doesn't need any Google Play to kind of like set up. But these are larger. I mean, there are only certain banks that allow you to do this. So here you can look into kind of like what is available in your country, and with Visa. So they have struck a lot of partnerships with all of these banks, but remember that it's going to still work. It's going to be difficult. So I use that on my watch. So here, I'll show you. So here is my watch, and I use this on the wallet function. So my watch has a wallet function, and if I use it, I just tap there, and it gives me that access to the card, and then I just tap and have the availability to use NFC. Now, do I think that Light or Mudita will figure it out? I really hope so, and I think that they're going to have to figure something out for those two functions, but it's kind of like, I don't know what is going to be possible, and I think that integration with banks is difficult. It's not easy to find a bank or an institution that just kind of want to let you in. This is a lot of sensitive data. So I really think that they're going to have hurdles because of the lack of Google Play services, but it is not impossible because clearly I have the ability to do the NFC via my watch. So yeah, I think that this is something that I'm happy that there are alternatives and that people have used them in the past. And I think that hopefully Mudita and Light will both be able to figure it out. Yeah. Okay, cool. I think those are all the questions so far. Let's do some Mudita and Light Phone updates. And also, I will do a giveaway sometime soon in the Reddit for the Sonim. I think I did a review I think it's a week or so ago at this point. And here, let me show you. So I will do a giveaway for the Sunbeam, not Sunbeam, the Sonim XP3 Plus 5G. So stay tuned to the Reddit for the Dumbphone subreddit, and one lucky winner with a USA address will be able to get this. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah, so just kind of like letting you know in advance. Now we have the Mudita. I've used it a few more times since the review. You know, I pushed out the review about a week ago as well. And yeah, it continues to perform well. It continues to have a good kind of like ability to do the charging. The battery life is great. I think they still need to do some improvements to the messaging experience. So let's go to messages. Where are you, messages? Oh yeah, it's at the beginning because yeah. So the messages, the experience is, darn it, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, let's just text my dad. There it is. So the typing experience still needs a little bit of work. I think it's frozen. Yep. Okay, we're back. So it's good, but I think it can be better. And also the other thing that I think they need to improve on is just full MMS compatibility. It's not working very well right now. So if I try to send information back and forth with images or group text messages, it's having a little bit of a difficulty, a big difficulty. And I think they need to improve on this. But so far, the phone continues to perform very well. The clarity of the device is very nice. And I know that they're starting to ship devices towards the end of this month, beginning of next month. And a lot of their functionality is pretty much set. They send me that they're going to be installing a new update. So once I take a look into that, I'll let you know what changes. But yeah, the device has been good. You know, if you're looking for a simple phone with the capability of installing extra apps and great battery life, this is definitely it. The Light Phone 3, as you know, is my daily driver, and it has been working really well with its functions. So, you know, you kind of have that ability, phone, calculator, directions, etc., etc. I see a few questions. It says, how you been liking the Light Phone 3? I love it. Yeah, I mean, like, it's just something that I prefer the UI a lot. So one of the things that you have with phones like the minimal phone, right? So let's just use this as an example. Yes, this looks nice. No problem. Everything is great and I like it a lot, right? However, whenever you step out of this screen, let's say to messages, then you have a smartphone interface. So now you're back to that feeling of being on a smartphone. Same thing, of course, if you use something super smart like Chrome, right? Like now you're back on a smartphone and the experience is just subpar. Whenever you use the Mudita, it's kind of like middle ground. Most of their apps, they're well designed for e-ink, and it kind of makes sense. It has more information, and it does feel like a quote unquote smartphone, but it's intentional. Like they're creating something that looks good for this specific screen. Now, if you step out of those bounds and you go to like something like browser, right? Like, now we're back to this UI that is kind of like smartphone like. So if you're looking for something like that, then you can navigate, you can look into some of these things, right? So as you see right there, you can look into some of these images and whatnot. And that is if you add extra apps to the Mudita, right? But most of the system feels well intentioned. I think the only app that is not amazing is the maps. And that is because they're using OpenStreetMaps, and OpenStreetMaps is definitely not the best. It's not horrible, but I mean, as you see right here, it's just not the best UI, right? Like you're having a full-blown smartphone application used for the device. This is where I think that the Light Phone has gotten it right, and that is that they have pretty much everything is based on text. So if you go into the music tool, you have text. You don't have elements that are non-text driven until you play something, right? And then, you're playing music, but everything is following a design language that is very simple. And I personally like that. And that's why I like my experience with the Light Phone 2 better than most other devices. I think that's what differentiates them from that. They integrate that experience. If you go to the calendar, same thing. Everything is based out of kind of like text-based, monochrome UI, same design language. And then you go into, let's say, podcasts, same thing. You have a few more functions, a few icons, but the experience is simple and nice to use. So that's why I personally enjoy the Light Phone and the ethos behind the team, because it's not just the tools that they release, it's also the intentionality that they develop behind it. And I just don't think that it makes sense to put this UI into other phones. It makes sense for a Light Phone, but that's why I personally like it, right? I see a few questions, Light Phone 3 Mudita, so I'll be answering those. And yeah, so I think that that's why this continues to be my daily driver. The only area where you can see some discontinuity is the new tool with the camera, right? Because you can see essentially full color, so there's some discontinuity there. But even there, you have like right there, photo, selfie, everything is extremely well designed for the device, so how it works. Let's see. Does the Mudita have Qi 2 magnets? So it does have wireless charging. I don't know if it has the magnetic version, but I do know that it does have wireless charging. I was going to say I don't have a Qi 2, but I do. So let's test right now. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Be right back. I was going to say that I don't have one, but I do. And we'll test. So no, it doesn't. It's not Qi 2, but I assume it is wireless enabled, but it is not Qi 2. Yeah, because this is a Qi 2 charger. So no. So maybe, yeah, nope. So it doesn't have the magnet in the back. It doesn't have the magnet in the back, but it is wireless charging compatible. So if you're looking for wireless charging, you can put it on a wireless charging, probably stand, probably is Qi 1 most likely, but not on a Qi 2 charger, or at least not with mine. And I mean, it works with other devices, like, it's magnetized, right? So There it is. Yeah, so that is that, unfortunately. Maybe it only is compatible with other magnetic stands. Unsure about that. I know that the minimal phone, the minimal phone has at least it's connecting, like uh, the the magnet with this one is like it's attracting it, so it's staying there. See, that's the minimal phone. So this one also has wireless charging, but I believe this one does have Qi too. So I don't know which protocol they implemented on the Mudita, but that's just something to do. Let's see. Continue. Do only apps that exist in the link in your Mudita sideload video work? I want to use an app called BunPro and not sure if it will work on there. No, Alex, good question. So the link that I gave you is kind of like a database where most people have contributed. So it's kind of like a cheat sheet, for most people. And yeah, so let me see. Let's go with, you call it what? It's called BunPro. Okay. I don't know what this is. Never seen this app in my life, so sorry. BunPro. Oh, okay. I do have the Aurora store. So I assume this is on the App Store. I'm going to assume. So I will test. Let's see. BunPro. BunPro. Is it that one? Japanese SRS? I think. I don't know. I don't know what this is for. 1 month free without needing info. The service initial price. Worth every penny. I don't know if it's this one. So I'll just download it. And you can tell me. It's a Japanese learning app. Okay. So yes, this is the one then. Hopefully. All right. So we're gonna install it, and then we'll see if it works. So a lot of it, again, it's like a cheat sheet, the TechLord website, but you can try to install other applications. It's just a matter of like, sometimes it will install, but other things will not work. Some things will be, like not the best. So it's a trial and error kind of a thing. So let's see. BunPro. It logs in. I mean, no issues. So I would assume that it doesn't need any Google Play services, because usually when an app needs Google Play services, it just tells you like, no, like it will not have access to this kind of thing. It will not be able to, like, it will not even open. So I would assume by the looks of this that you will be able to at least log in and look into the information. I know somebody asked me a few days ago about the Babbel app, and that one works too. So if you're looking to learn a language, then that's another one right there. All right. Okay. Let's continue. More questions regarding the Mudita Kompakt. How do you like web browsing? I'm not plastic to it, but for me, it's good to have. I think for emergencies is fine. Yeah, so the web browsing experience on the Mudita is not going to win awards. It's not going to get you, all the things that you need. But on an emergency, if you're looking for some information, or if you need something or a QR code or whatever, I think it works. And yeah, I mean, I think it's good for those people that need some of those things. Yeah. Okay, good question. Returning, I'll get to that in just a second. Let me see if there's anything else here. No. Okay. So, if you're gonna buy the minimal phone, make sure to use my link. I'll put it out there. I mean, again, you don't have to, but I appreciate it every time that you guys are able to. If you're really thinking about it and you want to use a link to support the chat, to support the streams, to support the giveaways, I appreciate it. Just FYI. Returning says, are there any features the LP3 is missing, or what would it take for a device to dethrone it as your preferred personal use device? So I don't need anything else personally. I think I'm very content with the feature set of the Light Phone 3 as is. There are some refinements that I would appreciate. So, for example, when we look into using some of the NFC, the fingerprint, those are some just extra nice things to have. Or one thing that I would appreciate is better music management. But features wise, I think I have accommodated to that device for such a long time. Like, I mean, I've been using the Light Phone family of devices at this point for 6 years. And in those 6 years, I just haven't found many instances and many situations in my life that I'm like, oh my gosh, I really need this feature or that feature. So for me, I think that there is no specific feature that will make a device more attractive. However, I do have one, and I think it's coming. So that's why I'm like, it's coming. It's not that big of a deal. Is RCS, or some sort of texting that I can sync with my desktop. I think that's the feature that will make me say, okay, yeah, let me transfer that to that device. So that's one of the reasons why, for example, the Mudita Kompakt is not on my short list, because even though it's well designed and it has a lot of features, it doesn't have features that I'm like 100% I want that, right? So it doesn't have any sync for text messages, and as a result of that, I'm like not interested. But if it did, maybe I will be more inclined, because it's like, oh yeah, now I can manage my communication with loved ones and work from the desktop. I don't even have to look at the phone, and I would appreciate that. So I know that the Light Phone is coming with updates. I mean, I've seen some of these things behind the scenes that are like, going to make music management better and a lot of improvements to the overall performance. But also they're looking for RCS and beeper, right? So I think that having that sync between the text messages will be one of the features I'll be like, oh yeah, I would like to switch to that device. And I think something like the side phone, for example, is that it will have that feature. It seems to me, because having the ability to do, where's the side phone? Let me see. Side phone. So the side phone, I believe, should have that ability. Hopefully it does, of doing something like messages and syncing. And if it doesn't, then I'm like, okay, well, I mean, it does have WhatsApp, so that can sync. But I do prefer those text messages, especially for work. The side phone is definitely the device that I'm looking into to replace the Jelly. So I like the Jelly, but there are a lot of things that I have done to it as a result of me not necessarily trusting the manufacturer. Not that the manufacturer is evil, but there are certain things that you have to do with devices that are not, or that you may not have full trust in the company yet. So I have done a lot of modifications, but I know I can do them. So I recommend it in general to a lot of people. But so for somebody who has specific needs, then yeah, Jelly, but the side phone is something that I'm like, oh yeah, that's probably going to be my next work phone, because it's like, it's a dumb phone looking device, but it has some extra functionalities for work that I definitely need. And hopefully I'll be able to have, like, or even hack into it, right? So we'll see. All right. Good question, though. I love the design of the LP3, but not having an e-ink screen was a deal breaker. At the moment, I use my LP2 with a Big Me Hybrid Pro. Super note. Wow, you lived the e-ink life. Yeah. I think that's perfectly fine, and that's why I'm really glad that Mudita came with the e-ink device that a lot of people wanted. Maybe the Light Phone 2 to be a device that has e-ink, good battery, and you also can install apps if you want to. And the e-ink is a very good friction point, and I think it makes sense for a lot of people that love the e-ink. I think it makes a lot of sense. I just personally think e-ink is not that important to me. I think it used to be very important. Well, it's actually important in certain areas. Like, for example, I don't have it here in the room. It's probably one of my bags for work, but I do have a e-ink computer. So I bought the Lenovo e-ink. I don't recall the name. Lenovo Twist. Was it like a Twist? And I think ThinkBook. That's what it is. I'll show you. So a long time ago, I bought this ThinkBook Gen 4. I think it's the Gen 4. It's the one that flips. Innovation with a twist. Yes. So that's the one. And it's not perfect, but I prefer it for my usage because it has the e-ink on the back. So you can twist it to e-ink, and you can twist it to use LCD when you need to, or OLED, I guess. It has OLED. So OLED or e-ink. So I personally think that was the best of both worlds for me. So I'm really, really happy to kind of like to have that device. I had the chance to play around with a e-ink monitor from Bigme. Just to play around. I didn't get to keep it. I wish I would have. And that was very nice. Like, I think it's, they make the high break, but the monitors, that's the one I'm looking for. This one, the B251. So the monitor only, not the PC version. So the monitor, and it was really, really good. Like, I was very impressed about the color reproduction or how fast it was. I really thought that it did a very good job. I know it's not pure e-ink. It's like an ODM e-ink color display, if I recall correctly. But it was fast, and I was happy. But the price, I was just like, there's no way that I'm spending $14.99 on this device. I just can't. And I don't take stuff for free. So I thought about breaking my rule and that one, because it's so expensive, right? Like, I mean, I'm not spending $14.99 when that's a full computer, like, and some, and a monitor. So I didn't feel like spending the money. So, but I got to play around with it, and I was kind of like, oh wow, this is very fast, very nice. I have a friend that has one, and Big Me had reached out, but I just don't take free stuff. I buy everything that I review. So if I'm going to be making this commitment, is for that reason, because I'm like, okay, I'm going to review it, and also I'm going to use it for a long term. And that was the other thing. I didn't know if I was going to stick around with a long term. I have not seen this one. I think this is new. The B13. Yeah, it's very new actually. So it says new. Pre-sale price. Oh yeah, it's on pre-sale. Oh, this is good. Okay, I'll take a look into it. Maybe a 13-inch monitor should be enough for most things, I guess. I should be happy with that. For $500. See, that's something that I'm like, okay, that's reasonable. I can actually buy it. Yeah, so that's something important. All right, cool. High Break Pro yet? Yes, Alex. I don't know. My order got delayed. I'm talking with them. Hopefully, I'll get it sometime. But there are some good reviews, so I highly recommend you go take a look at them. And yeah, I've heard really good things. I heard really good things about the High Break Pro. Go take a look at those reviews. A lot of people are making them. This guy made a really good one. I looked into it. He tested it. He put it through essentially all the things that you need and that kind of stuff. So very good phone, very good device. Highly recommend, even without having to test it myself. Like, I know that is going to be a great device for those of you who are looking into, okay, I'm going to have a smart device, but the friction of the e-ink screen. I personally don't plan to use it because it's a very large screen. But if you don't mind that, then I really think it's a great device. Yeah, cool. All right. What else? Site phone says pre-orders will start mid-April. Yeah, so that was not a mistake, but essentially what happened is that they got sidetracked. No, they got delayed because of the current situation with all of the stuff that's happening in the world and the terrorists and that kind of stuff is definitely making them less mobile, and they had to figure some of that stuff out. So, but I know Returning Retro, he's running a channel. I had an interview with him the other day. We did a little video podcast. So excited about that. He released it, and he has a live stream, I think today or tomorrow, sometime this week. And yeah, go check it out. I think let me see the chat. Oh, it's today. Okay, yeah. So today, if you have questions about that device, go check it out. I'm really happy to see more creators in this space and talking about these topics. I think it's extremely important. So yeah, I hope that like things get kind of like sold out and more people kind of like look into it. So yeah, really happy to see how the process goes. I think that's about it. I had an hour and a half. I have to go back to a few extra tasks and everything. Thank you for being here, everyone. The best way to stay tuned to everything that I do around here is the Reddit, also the newsletter, Moving Offline on Substack. So if you want to get some semi-weekly, bi-weekly information on devices, topics of interest for the digital minimalist community, and also some ideas, highly recommend that you take a look into the newsletter. So go to Moving Offline Substack or josebriones.substack.com. I guess I can put the link in the chat. And yeah, there are links for everything. Really appreciate everything that you guys do for the channel, to keep everything smooth and running. And, I try to put as much information as possible out there. So if you need anything extra, please let me know. And as always, you can comment and you can ask questions in the comments, and I'll be interacting with you guys there. But I appreciate you guys hanging around today, the April live stream for 2025. And I'm trying to do one of these monthly so that, we get a lot of the news out there and all of that good stuff. But if you have any extra thoughts or questions or anything, just put it out there and I'll be responding as soon as I can. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.